Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Pocklington School. My name's Mark Ronan, and I'm the headmaster of Pocklington. Last week, in this theatre, the Tom Stoppard Theatre, here, in this space, last Tuesday at 5 o'clock, a group of our fifth-year pupils, Year 11, performed a play that they had written themselves, dealing with domestic slavery in England, in households, from the 19th century and the 20th century. What was remarkable about this play was that it was on the same day as Nelson Mandela's memorial service, by chance. And today, as we gather for TEDx here, details of a modern slavery bill are being announced in Westminster. We are also a school where William Wilberforce, our most famous old Pocklingtonian, struggled over many years to initiate the banning and abolition of slavery in England. So, what inspires us? The privilege to be in a theatre where another of our old Pocklingtonians, Tom Stoppard, gave us permission to use his name. To have an old Pocklingtonian who struggled against slavery. And here, last week, a group of young people writing and performing their own work. Today, one of our themes is about what inspires us. And what inspires me is the privilege of being a headmaster, the privilege of being engaged and involved with young people. They are our inspiration. Education is ultimately learning through dialogue. And it is through the exchange of ideas. The fact that we are encouraged under the direction of TEDx rules not to dazzle with a range of PowerPoint, not to overuse bullet points, takes us back to what education started as and what it is and what it should be. Relationships between people. Nelson Mandela, whose funeral took place yesterday, said of education that it is the most powerful weapon in the world to change. The most powerful tool to change the world. And the education of our children and of adults, because we need to continue to learn, is the most important thing that we collectively can do for ourselves and others. It gives us personal sense of place and understanding, and enables us to lead lives which we hope are happy and fulfilling. And if out of today we can go away and make a difference to one other person for the better, then we have made an impact which is positive and important and justifies us gathering together. The PISA tests run by the OECD, published last week and trailed in the British press, showed that we as a country have stagnated. We have not made significant progress. We can have a debate about the effectiveness of that assessment, of whether it reflects whole education. But if we take that as a starting point of how do we get better, then gathering to share ideas is part of that process. And for us as educators, what is key is the quality of teaching. It is the single most important thing in determining the success for young people, the quality of teaching. And in 2007, the McKinsey report that was analysing the 2006 PISA tests looked at what made great schools and great school systems. It was the quality of teaching, and the quality of teaching only gets better if teachers understand what they do well and need to do better, that they are able, through looking and observing other people's practice, they know what great and excellent teaching looks like. And then thirdly, we give them support to make those changes. And that we give them somebody that they trust to help them on that journey. In England, the current government has adopted a teaching schools model, modelled on the teaching hospitals model used within the medical profession, where doctors, for example, learn through being present in a hospital designated as a teaching hospital. So if we, as schools and communities, are to support our teachers to get better for the benefit of our children, then we need not just to look within, we need to look without. And in current English education, there has been great encouragement of partnerships between schools, between different independent schools, between independent schools and maintained sector schools. We here are currently seeking to evolve a partnership with Withensea. A partnership can only work if it is of mutual benefit. However, I actually think we need to do more than just share with other teachers and other schools. We need, as schools, to look beyond the school gates. It's work in progress. Jo Jordan, who will speak later, a clinical psychologist from York District Hospital, has worked with us in supporting teachers and supporting students. We need that professional expertise and support and challenge. We can't do it on our own. To Chris Williams and to David Andrews, primary school teachers who got in contact with me and wanted an opportunity to be able to share their work on the use of iPads in education. And as a school, we were able to help by giving them a venue to run their training, to enable them to share. And out of today, I hope that if we can connect in whatever way it is to provide small steps to support each other, we can make that difference. To Gary Gallen, who approached me and said, I want to look at the way in which we, as a group of professionals, of lawyers and accountants, can give some of our advice to our clients. But we don't know how to teach, but you do. So can we work together? This afternoon, Sonia Joseph from a consultant paediatrician from NHS Lothian. Sonia has been involved in the evolution of medical education for doctors in the Lothian area. Lothian NHS now employ 2 primary school teachers to help train doctors how to teach other doctors. The teaching hospital model may have informed the teaching schools model. Hopefully the teaching schools can inform the teaching hospitals and share that energy and expertise. To Steve McNamara, current England Rugby League coach, and a rare moment where my dad, who had always hoped as his eldest son that I would follow his passion for rugby, and unfortunately I failed beyond the age of 16. You can only be the captain of your rugby team for so long just because you know the rules. At some point you actually need to know how to play the game. So for me, to actually be able to phone up and say, Dad, you know, you won't believe I've met Steve McNamara. And that was good, because it might mean I'll get my Christmas gift this year. But importantly, Steve came in to share his expertise and experience of coaching and working with a group of adults. And what struck me most was the talent that whispers. And for us as schools, that we look at young people not on what they currently perform, but on their potential. So how can we work together? I hope that we will talk and share ideas. On the 20th of January, I've been invited to be on a panel in London with the Independent State School Partnership Forum, an event organised by Lord Nash, the Education Minister. I want to be able to take from here our sharing of ideas and to say, actually, these partnerships need to go beyond schools. The school partnerships do matter, but we need to take this a step forward and look at how schools can work with businesses and other organisations, health and sport. But whatever we do must be in the interests of the children or the adults that we are supporting in their learning. And finally, remind ourselves of what inspires us. The Inspiration Library is an idea through Dolly Parton. And why is this relevant here? This card sits on the mantelpiece in my headmaster's office, because there is a student at Pocklington School, George Gibson, who through his own tenacity and effort has raised the money that's necessary to establish an inspiration library in Pocklington. Now, as a school, we have not done this. This is George who has done this. If we can help him and have helped him in the past, we do. But if we are reminded of why we gather today and what inspires us in our learning, and I hope the conversations that we will have, for me, it's the young people that I have the privilege to be a part of with their community. And I hope that you will also do that within your communities. Thank you very much.